Thank you. So I'm going to quickly introduce myself. So I've been a Debian developer for more than 20 years, which gives you an idea about my age. My work, what I'm getting paid to do is I'm a director at Mozilla for, sorry, I'm going to, so. Did you hear the echo also? No, it's good, better? Okay, cool, thanks. So my paid job is to work at Mozilla, and this work is completely unrelated. It's not a Mozilla project. It's not supported by Mozilla in any way. It is one of my side projects that I'm doing in the evening and during the weekend. I have been involved in the Rust community for a long time. I uploaded the first Rust-C version in Debian a while back, and it's now in Ubuntu. And I've been the maintainer of some key packages in Debian and Ubuntu based on Rust for a while. So here is what I'm going to talk about. First, I will ask you some questions. Then I will present what we have been doing with the implementation of the Coreutils in Rust. I will do a demo, and then I will make a proposition to the open source community. So first, I'm going to ask you some questions. So who here in the room has strong opinion about the GPL, and especially the debate BSD-MIT? So for the recording, it's about like 1/3 of the room, 1/4. Myself, I don't care. As long as it is open source in the OSI and FSF definition, I'm completely fine. So that project is not about license, even if I'm going to talk a few times about licenses. Who has strong opinion about the GNU project? Not that I'm saying the GNU project, not the FSF. So I see only a few hands. Same. I still contribute to a few GNU projects like Coreutils or GCC or those kind of things. So Miguel did a talk right before about the Linux kernel and rewriting some part of that in C. So now the question is, who has strong opinion about C? Yeah, a lot more people. Yeah. I really don't like C. I think it's going to die. And at some point, I think our kids are going to put C in the same category as Fortran and COBOL. I think it's time to move on, and this is why we need to start that work now. And who has strong opinion about Rust? Positive? Yeah, many people. Cool. So you are in the right room. So now what I'm going to tell you is a quick story. So it has been 5 years that we all had to go in lockdown. So it was shitty for everyone. And some of us, we made some bread. Some people, the guy on the right, he was in the LLVM track. He did some woodworking, some crazy stuff with wood. Myself, with my son, we started rebuilding all the Lego in the boxes. So you can see Wall-E and some Star Wars and some Batman stuff. But I needed a project in the evening, so I was like, I want to learn Rust. Rust is a Mozilla project. I have been surrounded by upstream Rust developer inside the Paris office of Mozilla, some server developers, so I want to learn it myself. But I'm not a student anymore, and I don't want to do a side project that it is going to be just sitting on my hard drive, so I want to do something impactful. So I was thinking, what about re-implementing the Coreutils in Rust? Especially, I was curious to know how it was working. I saw it was full of assembly. But actually, it's a very simple C most of the time. And I was very inspired. I've been contributing to LLVM in Clang for like 15 years, and I was very interested and inspired by the work that Chris Latner did at Apple. One of the core fundamentals of Clang is if you have different behaviors than GCC, it is a bug. And I was also involved in that project with my Debian hat a long time ago. I started rebuilding the Debian archive with Clang, and I reported plenty of bugs upstream, and I fixed some of those. One of my favorites is this one. So some people saw that if you put a -06 in GCC or Clang, it's going to optimize more than 03 or 04. We even had in the Debian code base a -099. Someone saw that it would be way more optimized at 03, but of course it doesn't change anything. So now one more question. Who knows, in that list of Coreutils program, who knows one of them? Yeah? Well, almost everybody. Who knows 5 of them? Yeah, a few. Who knows everything here in that list? I'm pretty sure nobody, except if there is a GNU upstream developer. One of my favorites is PR. Who in the room knows what PR is about? You all have that on your system, if you are running Linux. Oh, I see one guy over there. It's basically to format a text for printing, actual printing on the printer, like paper and so on. Some of the commands here are not very useful or used anymore. They are legacy, but for compatibility reasons, they are still over there. You're all familiar with those. Like I selected all the fancy ones, so chmod, chown, install, and so on, ls, mkdir. This is a command that you folks, if you are running a Mac or Linux, you use those almost every day for your work. So it is a full list, 105 commands. So now we are 5 years later after COVID, 5 years later of working on that project. As you can see, I have way more gray hairs than I had 5 years ago. We have in the project, this is a screenshot from last week, we have 530 contributors. How many projects has that number of contributors? Not that many. We have more than 1,300 forks, and we have almost 18,000 stars on GitHub. I know that it is meaningless, but still it's one of the metrics that we have. And I'm very proud to show that this is a graph of when we run our implementation in Rust against the C test suite, the C-based test suite with GNU. And as you can see, we had 139 only test passes when we restarted the project in 2020, and now we are almost at 500. I should have worked last weekend to be at 500, but I didn't have the time, but we are very close to a full completion of the project. And most of the tests that are failing right now, some of them are in PR and some comments that nobody cares about, or sometimes we have some weird output ordering. So if you delete, if you use RM on a directory and you don't have permission, GNU is going to show something first and we show it at the end, so it's going to make a small difference. So what we are also doing is we run the test independently. So we have that fancy dashboard which is telling us that, for example, with cat, we have one test that is failing currently from the GNU test suite, but chgroup and the chown or chroot, they are fully compliant with the GNU test suite. That doesn't mean that it is fully compliant because the GNU test suite has some limitations. So we are contributing upstream to the GNU project when we see some stuff that are not tested. But that shows that you can use it in, you can trust the code. You can trust that it is working well. And you can also verify that you are not regressing when you are making some changes. So the current status, I'm very proud to say that we are production ready. We support Linux, Mac, Windows, Android, OpenBSD, FreeBSD, NetBSD, Solaris, Illumos, Fuchsia, Redux, and Wasm. So it's most of those targets are in the CI, not all of them, because GitHub doesn't provide everything here, but we have a lot of good coverage. It is also now used in production. Most important thing on my laptop, this laptop is running that implementation, so it is that kind of production, but we have also a collaborator who worked on that project to ship it on Apertis, so if you have an Apertis version, it's going to have our implementation. If you are young, you might know about Snapchat and Spectacles, the glasses. They are running our implementation. I must admit that those two are mostly for a license reason, but it's working well. They are in production. Microsoft is also using it for VS Code Web. They wrote an article about it because it is written in Rust, so compiling Rust to WebAssembly is pretty easy. And it is one of the beauty of open source. It's probably elsewhere. And if you use that in your company and you didn't tell me before, please let me know. I'm always excited to know when people are using our code. And it's on almost all Linux distro. Some of them, at least one that I know, SerpentOS is now shipping by default with that implementation. So before that talk, Miguel already covered some part. But here is my point of view of why Rust works for this. We are seeing that Rust is replacing C and C++ almost everywhere. So I'm completely biased. I work on Firefox. It has been my work for 11 years and 10 days. So I was part of the release management team when we started shipping Rust into Firefox. So I'm completely biased on the browser part. We know that Chrome is also following our lead in that space, the Linux kernel and many operating systems. We know that Microsoft is using it for Windows. I'm going to state the obvious, but Rust is very good for security, for parallelism, for performances, and I'm going to show you that in the demo. But I'd like also to say that we are not replacing the C implementation because they did a poor job in terms of security. They did an amazing job. Like they almost don't have any security issue in their code base. They are doing amazing work and it's super safe. So it's not about being better in terms of security. And as I implied several times before, it's not about license. I'm not interested by that debate. I know that some people care a lot, but it's not why I am doing it. Second part, it's very portable. Some people are surprised when I say that. Unlike Java, it's really, really portable. So I mean that if I write a code, usually I'm almost certain that it is going to work well on Windows and Mac and Android, which is very surprising to me given the complexity of everything that we do and everything is platform specific. But thanks to the ecosystem and thanks to the quality of Rust, the cost of porting a change to an operating system is very, very small. And I know that one is up to debate. Myself, I'm on the side of I'm lazy, so if there is a crate doing a library doing that work, I'm going to use it, I'm not going to implement it. We have like 200 or 300 dependencies in the Rust Coreutils because we don't want to re-implement things. I do understand that there is always a supply chain attack risk, but it's a risk that we are willing to take, and there are more and more tooling around that to protect ourselves. And if you did some Windows, Mac, and Linux development in your career, you know that porting a new dependency on another operating system is a nightmare. And Rust is usually as easy as typing cargo add and the name of the crate. Usually everything is managed for you by the build system. I'm a developer and I'm a geek. It's also super interesting to learn a new language. Like it's part of what makes our job super exciting, is learning new things every day. And as I'm getting older, my son is 10 years old, I also think about what we are going to leave to the new generation. Like the new generation, they don't want to do COBOL, C, or Fortran. They want to do fancy stuff like Rust, Swift, Go, or Kotlin. And I think it's a good investment for the future to start now investing in the new technology and the new languages and the new approach for the future of the Linux ecosystem and the computer science system ecosystem in general. Now I'm going to do a demo. I'm going to do some product placement for some of the cool stuff that we do at Mozilla because everything is intertwined. And if I know about those tools, it's also because I work at Mozilla with the folks who develop those things. So please bear with me. It's a demo. It's never perfect. And I need my notes. Here they are. So, yeah, we can see. Cool. So I'm using Alacrity terminal in Rust, and the prompt is Starship also in Rust. So most of the tools that I'm using on my Debian are packaged in Debian, and they are almost all out of the box with some customization to make them nicer. So you all recognize the pattern. So I've got a cargo.toml. So what I want to do is to show you, for example, that I'm using the Rust implementation of that. And if you are from Australia, you will appreciate, unfortunately, that we are telling you that you are spelling color wrong. Color should be spelled this way, but we are helping you to fix your English to have it the right way. So what I want to do now is to show you one of the. So we take the liberty at times to differentiate ourselves from the GNU implementation. So what I'm going to do is we added a command, an argument called --progress. Where you have the progress bars. And if you have been using CP, probably in your career, or MV, you don't have that, and that can be very frustrating because you never know how much time it takes. I am not the one who implemented that. It's one of the other maintainers, Terz. So Terz is the claps. And in Rust, it's pretty easy to add that. And if you see other places where we could add it, don't hesitate to let us know. We have also some algorithms that we are shipping. Sorry. The demo effect, I said. Release, debug, release. So we are also, for example, we have that hash algorithm that we are shipping. Of course, it's stalled because it's waiting for something on SCD in, but we are also taking the liberty to add more stuff. So what I want to show you also now is how easy it is to run tests. So the command cargo test, sorry, I'm going to clear the screen. Here it is. Cargo test, you all know how it works. We have --feature, which say I'm running a Unix because we have also Unix-SE Linux. I'm a Debian user, so I don't have any Linux and I don't care, but some people care, so we have also, instead of Unix, we have Linux_SE Linux or something. And here I want to run only the test on sort, the command sort. So I'm building the dependency. It's going to take a bit of time. It's not in release, so here it is. I launch all the tests, and as you saw, it only took 1 second and 1.27 seconds to run the test suite for all sorts command. If I were doing that with a GNU, it would take 20 seconds, something like that, and it's much harder. So it's very easy when you want to test your changes, because you can quickly only run the test on the command that you are touching. So this is the easy stuff. So what I want to show you now, it's my laptop froze, of course, it's a demo. Let's move to a different terminal. You can see, yeah, perfect. So, it's probably because I have something mounted, so it's why it's long. So, on my system, I'm basically to run my implementation, I'm just overriding the path. So if I'm typing the full path to the GNU command, I have the full GNU command. So you can see here that I'm running not the latest version, I'm using the package 1 in Debian, and in Debian we still have the 9.5, which is not the latest, which is important because they improve some performances. Anyway, I have on my system all the books that Molière wrote, but because I speak in English, I'm going to use Shakespeare as an example. So I'm using W-L, and we can see that we have all Shakespeare books are about 127,000 lines. So now what I want to do is to do some benchmarking. So I'm using Hyperfine, which is a Rust program, one more, to do some easy benchmarking between command line program. So let me type it from start. Debug, Coreutils, sort, Shakespeare. Of course, I need quotes. And now I'm going to give the GNU. So if you know about Rust, you are telling to yourself probably, that guy on stage is stupid, he doesn't know what he's doing. He's using the debug build of Rust, which is often very slow. But it's part of the demo effect, right? So what Hyperfine is doing is running 10 times the program. And as you can see here, that part, you have the result. And we can see that even our debug build of sort, so sorting all the line in Shakespeare books is 1.45 times faster than the GNU implementation. It's because we are using some Rust trick, and Rust makes that super easy. So now, because it takes forever, I already built a release build of that. So instead of doing debug, I'm just going to use a release build. It takes a few seconds. And we can see that we are 6 times faster than the GNU implementation. So now it is when I start doing product placements for Mozilla stuff. So I'm going to use a tool that one of our colleagues developed called Samply. If you are into profiling performances, you should know about Samply. If you don't, you are making a mistake. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask Samply to do a profiling of the sort itself. So here it is. It's analyzing. Now I'm going to go in Firefox, and I'm going to open the Firefox profiler. It's one of the things that we developed to improve the performances of Firefox. So I'm not going to go into too many details about the view, but we can see the performances, we can see the various threads. And what I like is graphic en flamme, flame, whatever in English. So I'm going to look at the perf profile. Of course, I prepared everything before, so I know what I want. But we can see that here I'm spending 29% of the time just to do a resize of the vector. And if you went to university and studied that, it's one of the basic exercises. So you're like, why are we spending that long on that stuff? So I can double click. Because of the Rust magic, I have access immediately to the source code. I'm not here to do a demo of the profiler. I'm going to do one more product placement. Some of my colleagues are going to present that in the web perf room later today. But I can see that here I'm spending most of the time in buffer resize. And I'm like, oh yeah, it's probably not the right thing to do. So I'm going to go back to the terminal. Right, just to show you Shakespeare. Here it is, the end at the bottom. It's the end of the last book. So what I want to do is I'm going to do a backup first of, so that we don't have to recompile, of the debug build, so target, debug, Coreutils, previews for FOSDEM demo. So it's super clear. And now I'm going to show you one of the patch. It's ugly, I don't want to put it in the tree because I don't like unsafe, but it's one of the tricks that you use to do an initialized memory. There is an unsafe at the bottom, so it's not something that we are going to learn. There are better ways to do that in Rust, but it's just for the demo. So what I'm going to do now is to apply the patch. I'm going to do a rebuild again. Well, I show you how quick it is to run the test. So I'm running the test to make sure that I don't regress. I didn't regress the test, cool. And now what I want to do is to run simply again with a new code. So I'm opening the profiler again. Graphique en flamme encore. And here it is. We see that the sort, the read to buffer now, is represent only 5% of the time. Now what I want to do is to do some profiling of that. So my laptop is not plugged, so on the power, so it takes about 2 minutes to do a rebuild of in release. It takes 1 minute when it is plugged. So we are not going to wait together for 2 minutes for the compiler to finish its job. So I already prepared the build earlier. So I'm going to run hyperfine, and now what I want to know is. I don't have completion in that case. Crap. Well, let's do the debug build instead. So I have the debug build that I prepared. I have the new one. We are still faster than the regular implementation. So that's good. Target, debug, Coreutils, previews, FOSDEM demo, Shakespeare. So now hyperfine is going to run it on the 3 binaries. So the one without my patch, the one with the patch, and the GNU implementation. Cool, exit code. So which one it failed? Yeah, it probably made a typo in one of the commands. What? Sort? Oh yeah, merci. Voilà, merci. It's a demo, that's why. Otherwise I can record it next time, but yeah. So here it is. We can see that the new, so the first one, that one is the one that I just patched and recompiled. And it's faster than the one that we have in tree currently, and it's twice faster than the GNU implementation. So what I show you is not to show off. It took me like 30 minutes. It's not very hard to do, and the profiler and all the GNU tools, the Rust tools helps a lot to debug and identify those kind of issues. And as I was saying, it's tools that we developed for Firefox for years, and it is why Firefox now is as fast as Chrome. It's thanks to all those tools. But enough about Firefox and go back to the presentation. So I did the demo. So we have been helped by the Sovereign Tech Fund in 2023 with the other maintainer, and Google helped us as part of the Google Summer of Code 2024. And as I was saying earlier, we have proper CI on most of the supported platforms, not everything, but most of them. GitHub is doing a great job to provide runner in GitHub Action. Our code coverage is amazing, almost 90%. And if you have played with code coverage, if you are above 80, you are usually very happy. Here we are even happier with almost 90. We have a lot of jobs in the CI to make sure that if you enable that option and that one is going to work, or if you disable that one and the other one is going to work. And we also contribute to upstream. So we report bugs, we send patches when they are doing something wrong, we collaborate with them. It's a very friendly collaboration. So we are not fighting. And one of the cool stuff that I play with, so at Mozilla I used to manage the fuzzing team, so I know one or two things about fuzzing, and they told me, when I discussed with them, they told me you should try differential fuzzing. So what we are doing is we have a fuzzer that is going, the fuzzer knows the grammar of the command. So for example, it's expr for expression, so you can do some stupid math. And it's going to generate something that it is valid and sometimes invalid. And what we are doing is that we are asking the fuzzer to generate a lot of things that are relevant and irrelevant, and then we run the command into both implementation, hours and the GNU, and we verify if std out, so the standard output, stdr, the standard error, and the exit code are similar. In that case, you can see that the GNU error message was non-integer argument, and ours was expected an integer operand. So they say the same thing, but we consider that as a bug. We want to be a really dropped-in replacement to the letter in terms of error messaging. And differential fuzzing for that is amazing. If you have an implementation and you have a target that you want to reach, differential fuzzing is really one of the silver bullets that you can use in security, but in compliance also. But enough about the Coreutils, because I'm talking about the past, and because you are all hackers and you all know about free software, and most of you probably are contributing to open source, I'd like to tell you about what we have been working on. So there is an old Chinese proverb that I love that says that the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago, and the second time is now. And you can apply that in your life with many different ways. And the Coreutils have been here for 55 years, if you think about it. I have friends who work at Software Heritage who send me, we have that, and if you can look at the first commit of the Coreutils that was done for Unix, it was June, or then in 5 months, it would be 55 years. And yesterday when I worked on the slide, I was like, oh, it's exactly epoch. The timestamp epoch was 6 months before, so it's not a coincidence. And those things are really back from the beginning of our industry. And I was thinking about it, is like how the Coreutils can disappear. Like in which world are we going to get rid of ls, mkdir, chmod, chown, at least on Mac and on Linux? Probably not, right? I think we are all going to be retired when those tools are going to disappear, if they disappear one day. And those tools still continue to evolve. Like if you look at the GNU project, the GNU implementation, they are taking new options, they introduce new algorithms, and we are doing the same, and there is no reason why those tools should not evolve. At some point, we should have the discussion, does PR still make sense to have that in tree? Probably not, but it's a different discussion. And by the way, it's not a Chinese proverb. I looked at that to prepare my presentation, but it looks cool, so that's why I use it. There is a page explaining that it is not a Chinese proverb, it's from the US in the 50s or something like that. But I like it. In parallel, we have been working on findutils and diffutils, so those projects have been less of a focus of us, but we have people who did a lot of great work. Here we are running the BFS test suite against our implementation of the findutils, a command that everybody knows, and you can see that we are not fully compliant, but good enough. And now what I like to do is to do the same with most of the essential packages on Debian and Ubuntu, because it's the distros that I know best. We can have the similar conversation with other distros, less popular distros than Debian, obviously, but still. And there is no better time than now to start that work. So the essential packages, you use them every day. You know about them, not all of them, obviously, but they are still very important. So this is a command on Debian or Ubuntu to get the list of essential packages. The essential packages, if you want to create a one, that's fine. I don't do demo anymore. Oh yes, a small one, but it's going to be easy. When you create a chroot and Debian, or you boot a very tiny Debian, it is a package that Debian needs to run. So you all know about those ones. They are easy: free, kill, ps, stop, watch. In this package, procps, we have also some weird stuff, like pwx. Who knows about pwdx is doing? I implemented it in Rust a few months ago. It's going to tell you the current working directory of a PID. Yeah, you learned something at least today at FOSDEM. tload, slaptop, and so on. Util Linux, so you know about dmessage, getup, hardlink, and so on. But there are some stuff. Those ones, don't ask me. I don't know what they are. I didn't prepare for those one. mcookie and choom. I guess choom is to, choom I don't remember. It's to change the behavior of the kernel when you are out of memory. Then we have those commands that we don't use in Linux in real life, but for some reason I should discuss with the people in Debian why it is installed by default, ACL. It's one of the cool stuff that we don't use at the end. We have also BSD utils, so they are the most famous, really nice to change the priority, role, logger. We have also hostname, login, and you didn't see systemd because I'm afraid of Lennart. I don't know if he's in the room, but I don't want to tease him before. No, more seriously, systemd would be a beast to rewrite in Rust, and it would be way too complex. We already started all those projects. They are already live on our project. It's called Uutils. I think it's universal utils. It doesn't matter what it means. It is the name of the project. We have already a lot of people who started contributing to those projects. We are also leveraging what we have done for the Coreutils. So there are many functions that we have in the Coreutils that are the same, that can be used for other programs as part of that world. So when you need to mount a file system or when you need to look at a permission, we have already all those functions. We started some of those commands have been fully implemented. Some of them are just one line. It really depends. And it's very easy to plug new tools into that ecosystem. And we have a lot of good first bugs. So if you want to learn Rust, it's very easy. It seems hard, but those commands are usually self-contained. You know the target. We have a lot of hanging fruit. So don't hesitate if you want to learn Rust for real to start those projects. It's the way I learned, and that's why we have so many contributors. So I think those projects like rewriting, reinventing the wheel might sound crazy, but I think it will work because there is an appetite from the community. We saw that the room here is not full, but there is a lot of people. The talk from Miguel before was the same, a lot of people. So we see that people are excited by those projects. As I was saying earlier, I'm getting older, we all do, but the new generation is not going to want to do C. And paving the way to do Rust is also a good opportunity for them to be involved in the open source ecosystem. We have reference implementation, so it's very easy to test. You can do differential fuzzing as a silver bullet to help you, and you, as part of that, you learn how to do fuzzing, and in Rust it's very easy to do. And we are also, I didn't know if I wanted to say that during that presentation, but I'm going to say it, is a lot of those tools that I mentioned earlier, they are using very old pipeline systems. Some of them, they don't have CI. They are still using mailing lists to send patches. I apologize for the Linux developer here. I still think that using mailing lists to do the patch review sucks. And now with GitHub or GitLab, we have an amazing opportunity to have a proper pipeline where you can run CI, you can run quality tools and so on, and it is one of the advantages that we have over some of those old projects that I mentioned. But, to be clear, that worked for them, so I'm happy, but I think we can do better as a community. And I'd like also to mention again that it's not a Mozilla project. There is no company behind it. There is no interest from big tech in that project. It's really, I'm doing that as a passion because I care about Debian and Linux in general. So it's really a community effort. There is no structure behind it. Now what I'd like to do is to finish that demo, by making, so it's a blog post that I wrote to announce that stuff. I wrote it a few months ago, but now I think it's time to make it public. So make the project public. So here it is. So it's probably going to be on Hacker News in a few hours, and probably last time it was #1. It's probably going to be #1 again. I know that I'm showing off by saying that, but it shows the interest of the community when we do it. GitHub.io. And where is the blog post? I don't know how quick it is going. Oh, no blog post. So I guess there are some caches somewhere, so we have to wait for the caches to be refreshed. one more time, it's the risk of the demo effect. Anyway, thanks for your time. Don't hesitate if you have any question. It's very easy to contribute. There are many people who are helping. We are using a simple PR model. We have plenty of tests. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. Thank you.
Many thanks for the inspiring talk.
Sorry?
Great talk, many
Thank
thanks.
You. My pleasure.
Question to the audience. If you need to leave early, please leave to those four doors, not these ones, because we'd like to have the Q&A to be understandable. So, who's the first who's got any questions? Okay, over there, I'm coming.
One of the things that GNU Coreutils has. Do you hear me, Sylvestre?
Barely.
Okay. One of the things that you have with GNU Coreutils is extreme portability. Like it works on many platforms. As far as I understand, you leverage the Rust C portability to be able to use Rust Coreutils everywhere. Are you tracking other Rust compilers as well to extend your coverage?
We will when they are ready. For now, so Nicola is asking the question. Can you hear me? Yeah? Nicola is asking the question about keeping track of the other compiler of Rust. As far as I know, they are not there yet, but we will. Like it's just adding a few lines in a TOML file. So yeah, we test everywhere that we can.
Any plans to do a shell like Zush?
Sorry?
Any plans to do a shell, bash,
no,
Zush?
No, I want to replace the existing in C, not to do a shell. There are other people doing. There is no standard with shell, except using what has been done and what they have been doing. The folks with Alacrity have been doing amazing work, so there is no need in that space.
Hi. So first of all, thanks for the talk. And what is your stance on the other utils that have that are a part of the rewrite it in Rust kind of trend? Like, louder. What is your stance on the other utils that have that are a part of the rewrite it in Rust kind of trend, like ribgrep, Dust, Bat, and all of that that already exist and are kind of alternatives to those?
I think they are providing a lot of value, like ribgrep or FD fine and so on. However, the issue is that they are not Bob-team replacement, so it's not very easy to adjust your practice. So they are very good projects, and the advantage that they have over us is that they don't have to maintain the argument legacy and all the issue and the ordering. No, that's our amazing project. I use ribgrep every day.
Thank you.
Okay, other further questions? I can over there.
Yeah, thanks for the interesting talk. You also mentioned that you have this already, so the Rust Coreutils in packaged for most Linux distributions. And I myself work for Debian, and there it's really hard to package Rust packages because of these strict dependency management, so you have to often patch each and every dependency to have it with a less strict version specifier. What is your experience there, and how do you want to work around that in the future, given that probably only more crates are added to the library?
So if I understood correctly, you are asking about packaging when it is hard to package Rust software? Yeah, as a dependency. Yeah, it's a big deal. It's because of the ecosystem in Rust. It's quite hard to package, but I think it's going to stabilize. We see that more and more. Some crates have been booming a lot 4 years ago, and now they are starting to be stable. And upstream is more careful about ABI and API changes. So I think we are we are in the right direction, but it takes time. Yeah, I agree that it is a pain to maintain Rust packages at time. Thank you.
Apparently no more questions. So, many thanks once more, and please a warm applause. Thank you.